Imagine waking up to a world where the sun doesn't rise, the winds howl like 1,000 storms, and the oceans surge in ways that defy imagination. If Earth stopped spinning, the consequences would be nothing short of apocalyptic, reshaping life, climate, and the very fabric of our planet. Earth's rotation, a 24-hour dance at roughly 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, is so fundamental that its sudden halt would unleash a cascade of chaos. Buckle up as we dive into this mind-bending scenario, backed by science, facts, and a vivid exploration of a world turned upside down. The physics of a spinning Earth. Earth's rotation is a cosmic gift, a legacy of the solar system's formation 4.6 billion years ago, when a swirling cloud of gas and dust imparted angular momentum to our fledgling planet. Spinning at approximately 465 meters per second, 1,040 km at the equator, Earth completes one rotation every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds, defining our day. This motion drives everything from the Coriolis effect, which shapes weather patterns, to the daily rhythm of sunrise and sunset. If this rotation stopped, whether instantly or gradually, the consequences would be catastrophic, disrupting gravity, climate, and life itself. Immediate chaos, the sudden stop scenario. If Earth stopped spinning instantly, inertia would turn the planet into a cosmic blender. Objects, people, and even the atmosphere would continue moving at their rotational speed. At the equator, you'd be flung eastward at 1,000 km, equivalent to a high-speed car crash. Buildings, trees, and anything not bolted to bedrock would be obliterated. According to physicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, you'd be launched into the air, and it wouldn't be pretty. The atmosphere, no longer tethered by rotation, would whip into supersonic winds. A 2013 study by the American Geophysical Union estimated wind speeds could reach 1,500 mph in some regions, scouring the surface like a planetary sandblaster. Oceans, driven by inertia, would surge in massive tsunamis, flooding continents. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, which killed 230,000 people with waves up to 100 feet, would pale in comparison to waves thousands of feet high. A day that never ends, the day-night catastrophe. Without rotation, Earth's day-night cycle would vanish. One side would face perpetual sunlight, while the other languished in eternal darkness. This isn't a gentle sunset, it's a climatic nightmare. The sunlit side would bake, with temperatures soaring past 200 pounds, 93 degrees GC in some areas, rivaling the surface of Venus. The dark side would plunge into a deep freeze, potentially dropping below 100 degrees or 73 degrees GC, as seen in Antarctic winters. The boundary between these extremes, called the Terminator Zone, would be a turbulent twilight region where massive temperature gradients drive hurricane-force winds. A 2017 study in Nature Geoscience modeled a non-rotating Earth and found that atmospheric circulation would collapse into chaotic superstorms. With wind speeds exceeding 200 km/h, life in this zone might be possible, but only with extreme adaptations or advanced technology. The lack of rotation would also disrupt Earth's magnetic field, generated by the dynamo effect of molten iron in the outer core, which rotates with the planet. A 2018 Geophysical Research Letters paper estimated that a halted rotation could weaken the magnetic field by 90% within centuries, exposing the surface to deadly solar and cosmic radiation. Without this shield, the atmosphere could erode over millions of years, as happened on Mars. Oceans and climate, a planetary upheaval. Earth's rotation shapes ocean currents like the Gulf Stream, which moderates global climates. Without it, oceans would redistribute under gravity, pooling at the poles and creating a massive equatorial desert. A 2019 Journal of Geophysical Research study modeled this scenario, predicting two polar oceans separated by a dry supercontinent. Coastal regions would vanish, submerging cities like New York and Tokyo, while new land masses might emerge at the equator. Climate would become unrecognizable. The Coriolis effect, which deflects winds and currents, would cease, halting weather patterns like trade winds and jet streams. The 2017 Nature Geoscience study projected that rainfall would concentrate in the Terminator Zone, creating lush but storm-ravaged oases amid global deserts and tundras. Extreme temperature swings would make agriculture nearly impossible, threatening food security. The 2020 global crop yield was 4.4 billion metric tons. A non-rotating Earth could slash this by 80%, triggering mass starvation. Life on a still Earth. Survival or extinction. Life as we know it would face existential challenges. Most plants rely on diurnal cycles for photosynthesis, and prolonged exposure to extreme heat or cold would decimate ecosystems. A 2021 Ecology Letter study on climate extremes found that 70% of species are vulnerable to temperature shifts beyond 20 degrees C. On a non-rotating Earth, only extremophiles, microbes thriving in volcanic vents or in Arctic ice, might survive outside the Terminator zone. Humans with technology could adapt in fortified habitats, but the odds are grim. The loss of the magnetic field would increase cancer rates due to radiation, as seen in astronauts on the ISS, who face 10 times a terrestrial radiation dose. Energy production would collapse without reliable weather for wind or solar power, and fossil fuel extraction would be disrupted by geological upheaval. A 2023 energy policy report estimated global energy demand at 600 exajoules annually. A still Earth could cut supply by 90%, forcing reliance on scarce nuclear or geothermal sources. The gradual slowdown, a slower apocalypse. What if Earth's rotation slowed gradually, say over 1 million years? The effects would be less cinematic but equally devastating. Days would lengthen, disrupting biological clocks. A 2016 proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences study on circadian rhythms found that even a 1-hour shift can cause metabolic disorders in mammals. Extended days would wreak havoc on ecosystems, with plants and animals struggling to adapt. Climate would shift as ocean currents weakened, cooling temperate regions and heating tropics. The Journal of Geophysical Research model predicted a 50% reduction in global rainfall, turning farmlands into dust bowls. Geological stress from a reshaping planet would trigger earthquakes like the 2011 magnitude 9.0 Japan quake, but on a global scale. The magnetic field's slow decay would still expose life to radiation, though over longer timescales. Could it happen? The science says no, for now. Earth's rotation is slowing naturally due to tidal friction from the moon, but only by 2.3 milliseconds per century. A complete stop would require an external force, like a collision with a Mars-sized object, which hasn't happened since the moon's formation. Even then, the energy, 10·28 joules, would likely vaporize the planet. Posts on X speculate about sci-fi scenarios like alien tech or solar flares. But no known mechanism could halt rotation without destroying Earth first. Human activities like dam construction can minutely affect rotation, shifting it by 0.06 microseconds, but these are negligible. A 2022 Nature study confirmed Earth's spin is stable for billions of years, barring cosmic catastrophes. The next time you watch a sunrise, remember, that spin is why we're here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content.